BBC Radio 1.
Eyes burned and forgot to eat his lunch.
If I said something to my 10-year-old self, it would be like, hold on, because like you're not going to believe how cool it gets.
Coming up, BBC Music's Sound of 2020 releases its list of 10 rising stars, and we'll hear from one of them.
There was definitely this sense of excitement. You know, we had planned to have a year that was very much live-based. We did Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris, which was super special, Bristol, we did Nottingham. Everything felt very surreal. It was that sense of, you know, something that I wanted since I was a kid. And it did feel like we were on the verge of like something that could potentially be like life-changing. And then having the rug kind of pulled completely out from underneath me.
The Prime Minister has announced the most drastic limits to our lives that the UK has ever seen in living memory. All gatherings of more than 2 people are banned, excluding your family.
I just felt so lost, especially as somebody who is very much like a social creature. And I think especially as like an emerging artist, I had that fear that, you know, I'd be forgotten or that things would get stagnant. That fear just weighed quite heavily on me. I felt quite directionless, but I did have a period of time where I kind of allowed myself almost to like grieve for the year that I would have had. And then I kind of realised that I had to kind of shift my perspective a bit.
What hurt so much?
Collapsed in sunbeams, I see myself sitting beside you, elbows touching, hurt and terribly quiet. The turquoise in my ring matches the deep blue cramp of everything. We're all learning to trust our bodies, making peace with our own distortions. You shouldn't be afraid to cry in front of me, I promise. At the start of 2020, BBC Radio 1 sent me a video camera to capture life in the lead up to releasing my debut album. Nobody could have predicted how the story would unfold.
I'm not that professional. Yeah. Okay. Hey everybody. It's a Saturday morning. I don't think it is. But yeah, we are filming some bits. I've just been writing today. Working on the album, super excited.
As a kid, so I did a lot of like classical piano, and it wasn't really my thing. And then when I moved on to like playing guitar, then that's when I really started like producing from home and teaching myself how to work GarageBand. And that was very much just something that came from within. I didn't really have a particularly musical family. It was just something that I always gravitated towards, especially after hearing albums like Channel Orange or King Cruel's first record. It just really inspired me to just have a go myself. And then I guess just by like trying things, I found myself here.
Lead me to my own devices. It's better when your Coca-Cola eyes are out of my face.
So that is Arlo Parks Cola on BBC Radio London. Hi, my name's Jess Izzat and I present BBC Music Introducing in London. I first discovered Arlo Parks' music on the Introducing uploader. I was working as a team assistant on the London show, which I now present. And basically, my job was just to go through the uploader and listen to loads of music. And Arlo Parks' music came up. She'd uploaded her tunes. There were just some raw demos.
I think I must have been 14 or 15, I think. You know, they weren't great. You know, it was just me like strumming away on my acoustic guitar.
It was the first time that I had presented Introducing in London at the beginning of 2017. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go back and play this tune that I just really, really loved from Arlo. Also on that show, I played a band called Island, who I'd been just obsessed with. I've gone to loads of their shows, and Ali was their manager.
The first year I heard of Arlo was 2018, spring of 2018. There's a friend of mine at BBC Introducing London who put me onto her.
He came to ask me, oh, who are you listening to and who should I be speaking to? Arlo Parks was the first name that I thought of. I was just like, she is just such a hidden talent.
I kind of went on her SoundCloud and there was this young girl from West London just rhyming and writing poetry over these amazing beats. So yeah, I was just completely hooked by that point.
She's amazing and she doesn't have what she needs to progress. And so I linked them up.
And then we met for a coffee, went for a walk around the park. We spoke for hours on that walk actually. We just kind of connected over music and ambitions and what she wanted to be as an artist. The whole time we were going for that walk, I'm like, you know, it's like not too different to a first date, I suppose, where you're just like, can we talk about the big elephant in the room, which is I want to be your manager and I want to like work with you forever.
I didn't realise it would be so huge in terms of Arlo Parks' career. And if anyone has made the most out of lockdown, it has to be Arlo Parks.
I think there's just one more thing that you need under your belt.
She got Introducing Artist of the Year without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think this year it was just an absolute no-brainer for Arlo Parks to be picked.
Hey, one, go on, look at that.
Introducing Artist of the Year 2020.
I'm so happy for her. I think she's got everything.
As soon as we put the first song out, Cola, you know, that's when things just went through the roof and there was an incredible reaction online and she got amazing critique and press.
So tight, your kiss, I'll swear.
Yeah, it was strange with Cola because, you know, we set out to put out this EP and kind of see what happened. And I was used to getting, you know, maybe like 100 plays or something on my songs. And it just kind of gradually kept increasing. And then people like Lily Allen or like Adjo Oboa started posting about it, and it just felt so surreal because I was still at school. Like I was still just doing my A-levels, but there was this kind of gradually growing awareness of like who I was. You know, that song has been like such a special one for me in my journey.
And then of course she signed a record deal within that time and she was ready to make her album, and then bang, COVID hit, pandemic hit, and yeah, it really changed, like many other people, changed a lot of people's lives, and it changed hers.
Morning everyone, I just woke up, it's another day of lockdown. I had a dream about the album. I had a dream it was out, but I don't remember whether it went well or not. I'm feeling a bit nervous. There was a bit of nervousness, a bit of excitement mingled in there as well. But anyway, for the rest of the day, I've got some calls. I am gonna probably cook some bolognese, gonna listen to some albums, and just try and relax because we're in lockdown, so can't go out.
If it wasn't for lockdown, she would have been in America touring with Hayley Williams.
Just about everything that is fun is being cancelled right now. The music festival at Glastonbury has gone today.
We had to cancel 36, 37 music festivals. It was a bit brutal and it was devastating for the whole team, but especially for Arlo. You know, we had a little cry, I think, and we had a little sort of regroup, and she was like, Ali, we're not going to let COVID beat us, and she put a plan together of doing bedroom sessions, and at that point she buckled down and just started writing the record, started writing her debut album.
I've been thinking about playing live a lot recently. I just can't wait to meet everyone in real life, in real time. I feel like my music is definitely designed to be experienced collectively. But at the same time, I guess I hope that in isolation I've managed to bring people solace, because I mean the world is quite a chaotic and scary place at the moment. I think everyone's kind of trying to stay afloat. I'm feeling okay. I've been productive. I've been making a lot of beats, playing guitar, sitting here. But I know that a lot of people are struggling, and I feel like when we get out of this, then playing shows, playing gigs, going to gigs even as a music lover, it's going to be more special than ever before. Yeah, I hope so.
You know, when we got the news that we'd be playing Glastonbury during the pandemic was just this nugget of gorgeous rainbows, you know, just this amazing moment, and she just jumped out of her skin and she was so happy because standing right next to the Pyramid stage, you know, one day I'm sure she will play, really kind of energised her into the album, I suppose, after that.
Alright, hello. I'm in front of the Pyramid stage at Glastonbury. We'll play a set later. Nothing but a few cows here to see the set.
I played Glastonbury last year just after I'd done my A-levels, and there was a sense of like life and vibrancy and everyone was excited.
We're a super-sad generation, killing time and losing our paycheck.
The human beings at Glastonbury were what made it for me. Just that sense of people coming together to enjoy music, just as a community almost. It was really special last year.
Thank you.
But at the same time, I think even being on the site, there is some of that magic still there.
I'm excited.
I'd lick the grief right off your lips.
We played beside the Pyramid stage, but just completely stripped.
You do your eyes like Robert Smith.
It was a really special moment. It was quite eerie at the same time, just looking over those expanses and just seeing like cows and grass.
It's like you won't survive this.
I mean, compared to last year, it was like night and day. The thing that I was really missing and craving was being around people and being able to like see my friends and be outside and make music with people. But there's such an energy to that place that I felt really honoured to be picked to play.
I would do anything to get you out your room.
Throughout the whole pandemic, she was releasing music. Problem is, how do you do the creative? How do you do everything else that goes around releasing music? How do you make the music video? How do you do photo shoots? There's a lot that goes behind the scenes.
Good morning. Today's a new day. I'm going to be starting off my day by playing a little bit of vinyl. It's a good way to start your day, I think. I usually like to journal a little bit whilst I listen to tunes.
Luckily at that point, shoots were starting to happen again with the right restrictions, and so just after Glastonbury she was back in not only writing new music for what would be her debut album, but she was also sort of concepting with directors.
Shooting the album artwork, Collapsing Sunbeams. I'm 20 years old. It is August the 26th? The 26th. We've got Juliette Leleux in my ears, and we're listening to Conan Robinson, King Weirdo Man. And I'm making my second latte in the past 30 minutes.
I was planning to write an album. I was feeling quite nervous about having to write a record, but I never knew that it was going to be like in this way, in this environment. I don't think anyone could have guessed that.
This is going to be on the perspex that we're writing, making peace with our own distortions.
A lot of the songs we wrote 2 in a day. The thing about creativity and inspiration is the fact that it ebbs and flows. Like there will be those moments where it all comes pouring out almost like an explosion.
About being comfortable with the weird shit inside yourself. I'm going to hold up this plate like this, so it's going to be like...
Working on visuals is something that is very intertwined with how I write, just because I feel like I'm a very visual person. I've always been really interested in like colour palettes, and as I write, as often my writing is storytelling based, you know, I almost envisage the memory in my mind and think about, you know, what colours might be associated with it. I feel like for me visuals are very emotional.
We are currently trying to figure out how to make me look beautiful for this album. My first ever album, and I'm feeling good about it. I wonder what it's going to look like. I wonder if I look back on this and I'm like, you don't need to worry, girl. It's going to look great.
This is what we're going to be wearing for the Velvet Basquiat shot. And this is me, wearing my hoodie, with my face all glowing. This is a lot. Oh yeah. This is Alistair. He's a bit strange, but you know, we love him.
Arlo's album artwork is really, really special. It kind of really captivates what Arlo is in 2020. It's rare that you come across an artist that is not only incredible with their own work, but they also have the ability to collaborate with other artists. Because lots of artists are like locked down and they weren't touring, a lot of her musical peers were communicating with her. You know, she was chatting to Florence Welch, she was talking to Phoebe Bridgers, she's talking to Billie Eilish. She's talking to all these amazing artists online, which sometimes would have been really difficult to have those conversations because they would all be touring or busy with their own bits. But those are the silver linings, I suppose, of that summer.
It might have been my drummer Marshall who sent me Arlo's music, and I just kind of was listening nonstop, which is funny because there's not that much out, and or there wasn't at the time. And then, yeah, just kind of it became the soundtrack to my quarantine.
My favourite thing about being an artist is connection. Just like whether it's connecting to myself and my emotions, connecting to others, to the listeners, connecting with other artists, and being able to learn and grow from each other.
I was going through a phase of either listening to music that made me want to wallow in my own sadness or dance around my house. Like, I had two moods, really. And then Arlo's music was just kind of the perfect middle ground for me. It was just kind of the perfect mood that I needed. Like, to hear somebody smart make something so, I don't know, beautiful, and it permeated my house for, like, weeks.
Day off in Kyoto, got bored at the temple, looked around at the 7-Eleven. The band took the speed train, went to the arcade. I wanted to go, but I didn't.
So I was going to the UK to go make a music video with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and you know, like, got out of quarantine into the beautiful summer. It was pretty special to even just be able to go on walks, and you guys have all those beautiful parks. And then turns out Arlo and I were very, very close to each other in town, and so we went and hung out in a park. And then as we were sitting talking, I realized that there was this piano session that was kind of looming over me, because I don't really play piano, and there's a beautiful Girl in Red performance where she's on piano, and I was getting overwhelmed, and and then I remembered that somebody told me that Arlo was like a classically trained pianist, and I was like, do you want to play piano? And she was like, sure. And that's how it happened.
Green plastic watering can for a fake Chinese rubber plant.
It was super wild. Like, I don't even think I'd sung full voice in months. And I just remember kind of being, like, overcome with emotion. And because also Fake Plastic Trees was one of the first songs I ever sang in London. And then just playing it in an empty church with her was, for the first time I'd ever even heard my own voice in months. It's pretty incredible.
She lives with a broken man, a cracked polystyrene man.
I hope she feels awesome, because the world is kind of waiting for the record, and that's super, super exciting. Yeah, I think everybody's gonna love it.
Charlie drank it till his eyes burned, then forgot to eat his lunch.
Doing the live lounge was really a bucket list moment for me. Just because it's something I'd be, you know, I was 16 years old, like in bed on YouTube, just like watching all these live lounges. And to be in that space, doing it myself, definitely felt like a milestone. There was always that sense of like, well, you know, that's never really going to happen. Because, you know, you're told if you want to be like an actor or a musician, it's something that's like almost 1 in a million. But I would tell my younger self, like, it does happen. It does happen. Somehow, some way, like, I'm a musician now, and it's pretty cool.
'Cause I'm in love.
that phrase, it's like, and I'm in love, but not with anybody else. I just want to get to know myself. And I think, I don't know, it feels almost like that's what this year has been. Just like a year of self-awareness and looking towards the future with hopefulness.
I'm in love, but not with anybody else. Just wanna get to know myself.
I feel like Billie Eilish is one of those artists that's really like changed the landscape of pop music, probably forever. And so yeah, I wanted to have a go and see if I could do it justice.
I'll see you in a couple years.
So we're in Margate filming. My debut album has not been announced yet, and it will be in 5 days. I feel nervous because I don't know how people are going to react to it, but I think that's part of the beauty of it. Like, you never know how much it's going to connect, or we'll just see, day by day. 2020, baby. Lockdown just got announced. Yay! It sucks because it's been like a whole year of this, but at the same time, I'm lucky that I can write songs indoors. But it's been a crazy year. I wonder what it's going to be like watching this back as well. But yeah, we're going into tier 2, which means you can't, I'm not even going to explain it, just can't have fun.
I did have a period of time where I kind of allowed myself almost to like grieve for the year that I would have had. And I think especially as like an emerging artist, I had that fear that, you know, I'd be forgotten, or that things would get stagnant, or that, you know, I wouldn't be able to grow and build. And I think that fear just weighed quite heavily on me. Even when, you know, you were allowed to go for walks and stuff outside, like sometimes I would literally just like not leave the house for ages. And then I kind of realised that I had to kind of shift my perspective a bit. And I really started focusing on the idea of gratitude, because I had like a roof over my head, I had my family, and like writing those things down actually, like every evening I started journaling. Those things kind of grounded me.
Future me watching this, let me know how it went.
I've been thinking about doubt a bunch. I'm thinking about the process of making to releasing this album is a lot of months. It was probably about 8 months, 8-9 months. So I've definitely been through a roller coaster of different emotions.
You know, a lot of people, creatives that I work with, a lot of other musicians, we have this entrepreneurial spirit, right? There's always this mentality within musicians and creatives that we will see a brighter day.
I've overcome that doubt and that anxiety to a certain extent, but I've definitely had spikes where it's been difficult, especially when you put so much of yourself into something.
Something that I hope is that people always associate our records with this very, very weird time.
I feel like everybody needs a bit of Arlo in their life.
Artists will find a way if we can just hold on a little bit longer.
Guys, the album is here, Collapsed in Sunbeams on vinyl. No, I never thought I would get here to this point where I have a debut album in my hands. It's definitely been quite a surreal year. So much has happened just in terms of the world, of course, in terms of my career, in terms of how I've grown as a person. You know, I sang with Phoebe Bridgers, which is crazy. I made this album this year during lockdown as well. And to see a project from, you know, just being little scribbles in my notebook and little ideas in my head to, you know, being in this physical form, that happened all over 2020. I feel hopeful about the future. I feel like, you know, although right now we're in lockdown and things are really difficult, I feel like progress is being made. I know that live music will come back at some point. It's a question of when. I'm planning to be touring the UK and Dublin in Ireland. So I'm hoping to do that in May and June. And, you know, my fingers are definitely crossed for those shows. I'm not sure whether or not they'll be able to happen, but I know that they will happen at some point. And I think for me, you know, festivals are something that I'm really looking forward to. And I hope that they can be back again soon. It's gonna feel like the first gigs we ever went to, you know, when we were teenagers, and, you know, getting those little butterflies before I go on stage and everything. I feel like it's gonna be like doing it all over again in the best way.
This year I grinned at dogs and painted my nails opal white. I was so fragile I laughed at the lumps in the film of our days, at how badly I wanted to be someone's favourite, at the peach yoghurt and the psychedelic dreams. This year I did good work. This year I did bad work. This year I stayed in until the stars were grains of rice and thought about how many people know my name now. From Thailand to Argentina, from Australia to Turkey, I think of you all, listening to me in your bedrooms, kitchens, washing fruit or playing cards or crying with intent. I'm just like you, sometimes tired, sometimes strong. I know sometimes it's rough and you can't get it to stop. Sometimes you're sad on the phone, sometimes you can't stop loving, but I promise it will be so good, so soon. This year you found me, or maybe in some ways I found you. Thank you.
BBC Radio 1.
If you enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe it and click the bell icon to keep up to date. For more great audio and video from the BBC, you can listen on the BBC Sounds app and watch on iPlayer.